Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. It is November. We are so much looking forward to the holidays, and for most of my adult life I have had a love-hate relationship with the holidays. I love the holidays. I love the music of the holidays. I love family gatherings. I love so much about the holidays. But the one thing that fills me with dread is the cooking that has to be done on the day of the holiday for the big meal for the family. And this year I don't have that dread because we have just done a class on make-ahead foods for the holiday season, and that is one of our Rose Red Homestead classes, Make-Ahead Holiday Foods. Also, another one that's pertinent to the holidays is Efficient Multiple Meal Prep and Apple Pie from Scratch. And we have a whole playlist of our classes. These classes are free, and you can just go to that playlist, just click on playlist on our YouTube channel, and it will list all, I think we have 12 of them now. Also in November, we always have a Black Friday sale the day after Thanksgiving. So this is from our bookstore. Everything in the store, including our 2 canning courses, are going to be 25% off. It will be on the 29th, and it's going to run for 24 hours from 12:01 on the 29th, middle of the night, to midnight that same night. And this is Mountain Time. So through the rest of the month, as we present our videos, we're going to be reminding you some of the things that are in our bookstore, and that's what we're going to do today. One of the greatest foods to store is corn, dried corn, and we have some examples here. This is the standard yellow, and it's dent corn. Dent corn, when it dries, has a little bit of dent in it. And Jim can probably come up and get a close-up of this to where you can really see. They are especially noticeable over here in the white corn. The yellow corn and the white corn are the 2 most readily available dent corn varieties. There are also a lot of heirloom varieties of dent corn. You have to go to specialty places. Now, for years and years, we have stored dent corn. It stores for 30 years. It's a wonderful food storage food. But what I didn't know for most of those years was that I was making delicious dishes by grinding that corn into cornmeal and then using it to make all kinds of foods, including enchiladas and tamale pie and tamales and many things. And while the taste was delicious, what I did not know was that the nutrition from the corn was not getting through to us because it is locked up so tight in the corn that it just goes through our bodies and is eliminated. And so we lose all of that nutrition. In fact, dent corn like this originated in Mexico and South America, and then it moved up into the southwestern United States. It's very popular, of course, in Mexican cooking, and which we absolutely love Mexican cooking. But then it traveled. What did not go with it was how to treat the corn so that the nutrition was actually released. And sadly, many people over in the old world, in Europe in particular, those that were at a very low poverty level subsisted on that corn, and they developed a vitamin deficiency called pellagra because the vitamins in the corn were not released into their bodies because they just boiled it and ate it, or they ground it up and ate it. And because it was not treated the way you have to treat it, it did not release its nutrition for those people. We now know, and I now know how to do it, and that process is called nixtamalization. We have done a video on how to do it, and I've done it with all 4 of these corns. Here is some that has been treated and then dried, and that video, I will put the link at the end of this video so that you can look to see what the process is in order to nixtamalize corn. And the advantage for nixtamalizing this dry corn, for storing corn and then nixtamalizing it, is not just the release of the nutrition, which is paramount, but it also enhances the flavor of the corn. And it is fantastic. If you have ever had hominy, you have had nixtamalized corn. So we're going to do some cornbread today using this nixtamalized corn. It's called nixtamal. That it has previously been nixtamalized and then dried in my dehydrator. And now this corn can also be stored for 30 years. And the advantage being that it is already nixtamalized. So when I take it out of the cabinet and grind it, then I can use it just the way it is. In addition to the video that we have made on nixtamalizing corn, my daughter Cindy and I have written this book on the maize, M-A-I-Z-E, the amazing qualities of food storage corn. And in this book, we also give you written instructions for how to do nixtamalization, plus a ton of recipes that you can use. When the corn comes out of the process, it is wet. And you can grind that corn and make masa. And with that masa, you can make the most delicious tortillas ever. But we have sections on appetizers, breads, soups and salads, side dishes, main dishes, and some sweets. And so this is one of the books that will be on sale for 25% off on our Black Friday sale. So you will find today's recipe just below the description of this video, and you can copy and paste it into your own recipe collection. So hope you can get this and enjoy it. So our recipe today, the first thing that it calls for is to use a 10-inch Dutch oven skillet and to put a half a cup plus 1 tablespoon of butter. We're going to be using browned butter. Browned butter is made using a heavy-duty pan like this and putting it in the oven for about 20 minutes until that butter becomes all bubbly and browned. So that's how we're going to start. And then I'm going to put this in the oven and we'll come back and mix the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients. And what we are going to do with this recipe is use this nixtamalized corn that I have ground into a very, very finely ground cornmeal from this nixtamal right here, and I used my my grain mill to do that. So I have the other dry ingredients in this bowl right here, which includes flour, sugar, salt, baking powder, baking soda. And to that I'm going to add our cornmeal, and then I'm going to just quickly whisk these dry ingredients together. I have the start of our wet ingredients. So I have a couple of eggs right here. And to that, I'm going to add a half a cup of buttermilk. Now, this buttermilk is reconstituted from my freeze-dried buttermilk flakes, which makes it very, very convenient. And also 3/4 of a cup of sour cream. So this recipe not only will have the enhanced taste from the nixtamalized corn. And just a note, most of the cornmeal that you buy in the stores has not been nixtamalized. So we now have our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients ready to go. And we're just going to let those sit until our butter is ready, and then we'll put everything together and get the cornbread in the oven. Well, we are ready. So we're going to take the butter and pour it into this measuring cup, and you can see how browned it is. We're going to leave just a little bit in the skillet, and with this pastry brush, I'm just going to ensure that all of the sides, everything has been well greased. And now we're going to do a couple of things. We are going to pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. And we're going to mix them together. And then we are going to take the brown butter and slowly drizzle it in and then stir around to get it mixed in. It is smelling fantastic. And we're going to add the last of it, and there is some little bits in here of the browned butter, and that's fine. It's the milk solids. And then to add a little bit of extra moistness to this batter and to thin it down some, we are going to be adding 1/4 cup of hot water. And that will allow the cornmeal to soften some as well. And in it goes. Now this grease right here is the butter from the pan that was left in the pan. So we're just going to smooth this around, even it out, and this is going back in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes until it is nice and puffy and a toothpick in the center comes out clean. This is just out of the oven and it smells absolutely marvelous. It's been sitting here for probably 5 minutes, and so I'm going to cut each of us a little piece of this. We're about to have our breakfast. I've got some of our homemade sausage links that I just cooked over there, along with some scrambled eggs that we'll get to in a minute. But first, we're going to try this wonderful smelling cornbread. It's nice and high. You can see it's about, well, what, an inch and a half?
Inch and a half.
Yeah.
Close to 2 inches.
Yeah, high, and just steaming wonderfully. So I'm going to put some ghee on mine. Do you want ghee on yours?
Yeah, I have some on mine.
I'm actually just going to put it on the top.
If we need some in the middle, we can do that. Nice cut.
Has a really nice texture. It's very moist. That 1/4 cup of hot water really makes a difference, so don't leave that out.
That's very nice. It's grainy. I like the graininess.
Well, and cornbread is supposed
Yeah,
to
it's
be.
supposed to be grainy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that comes from the cornmeal. Even though it's very fine, it still adds that grainy taste.
Yeah, it does.
Also, the corn flavor is much more intense than other cornbreads that I have made without nixtamalized corn. Can you tell that?
I haven't had much experience with cornbread for years.
Yeah, I don't make it very often.
Not very often. This would be nice with honey.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it would, honey.
That's bad. That's really bad.
So this is a marvelous success. And, you know, it comes from our level 1 food storage, because I can use, from our level 1 food storage, I could use our freeze-dried eggs if I wanted to. I happen to have some eggs in our refrigerator, but the cornmeal came from our food storage and I ground it with our grain mill. And the flour is part of our food storage. What else was in it? I forgot. Oh, the buttermilk. The buttermilk was reconstituted from our freeze-dried buttermilk, and the butter I could I could use ghee with. So this is a recipe that we could count on when times get a little bit crunchy, shall we say?
as long as we have heat.
As long as we have a way to cook it. Yes, good point. Well, I think this is a great success. What do you think?
Yes, I think so too.
So are you ready for breakfast?
I'm ready for breakfast.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being with us, and we appreciate how much our community adds to our lives in a personal way. We just feel like we have friends all over the country and in some places in the world because of the folks that watch and comment, and we really do appreciate you. So thank you, and we will see you very soon for more videos.
Take care. We'll see you later.